Shrutismriti-Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashyakritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaye Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Om Namah Pranavatthaye Shuddha Jnanaikamurtaye Nirmalaya Prashantaye Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Avacchinnasya jivasya
Avacchinnasya jivasya
Purnena Brahmanaikatam
Purnena Brahmanaikatam
Tattvamasya Vakyani
Tattvamasya Vakyani
Jagurnetara Jivayoho
Jagurnetara jivayo
Tat Tvam Asi. An equation which has Tat on one side, RHS or LHS, and Tvam on the other side. And the Asi, Tvam Asi, is the equal to sign. Tat Tvam Asi. You take any equation, an equation for a child saying, let us say 4 plus 3 is equal to 12 minus 5. Something as simple as that. The two sides look very different. They have to be, they look contradictory. No term is the same. Through to equations like a minus b whole squared equal to a squared plus b squared minus 2ab. 2 terms here, 3 terms here, brackets here, no bracket there. Everything looks different. Through to the highest understanding of equation, E equal to mc squared. A child will not understand the first one. A child in class 5 who has not yet done algebra may not understand the second one. And most of us won't understand the third one. And now here we have the mother of all equations. The two sides seem to have no relationship at all. If they were equal anyway, if you have a child, tell a child 5 plus 2 equal to 5 plus 2, nothing to tell. Nothing to understand. The reason there is a problem is because of the apparent contradiction. If somebody were to understand E equal to mc squared, he or she has to first understand what is E, define that precisely, what is M, what is C, what is squared. And then through vichara, step by step, you bring it down to show that they are equal, they are the same. Or if we take an equation which is more like words like Tattvamasi, We can say energy is equal to matter. Can it be the same? Energy is formless. Matter is form. Energy has no weight. Matter has to have weight. Tattvamasi. How do we understand Tvam and how do you understand Tat? So this text is brought in 3 types of jiva, all of which can be looked at as Tvam. The jiva is the Tvam. The one that I recognize as I. So it could be an avachinna jiva. It could be a chidabhasa, or it could be a swapna kalpita jiva. Which of these is this? And if whichever one it is, can you show that it is the same as the tat? The tat also has to be understood. What is the tat? Sarvamidam tatam, we've read in Bhagavad Gita. That which is everything, or which everything is. It's reduced into simple words. It says, hey, you are everything. You are the cause of everything. You created it. You sustained this Jagat. And into you the Jagat will resolve. What are you talking about? I am part of this Jagat. I am only one little tiny fraction. I've seen a video which says that I am, even the Earth is an insignificant dot in the whole galaxy. In that Earth, there is a place called India or Singapore or wherever I am. Singapore is even tinier dot, can't even recognize it. And in that, there are millions of people, out of which I'm one. How can you say I am Karanam for this entire Jagat? This entire Jagat consisting of all these Sthula, Sukshma, the entire universe, the entire cosmos, including time and space. You are the Karanam. So there is something one has to understand in when it says Tvam, I, and Tat, the entire Jagat. All the non-I, anything other than I. How is it possible? Let us look at Tvam. 6 chapters Bhagavan took to tell Arjuna, talk around Tvam. Here also he started with that. Lochanam Dṛk. Spent a whole lot of verses talking about the Tvam-pada in the first. Actually speaking, that part looks like a completely different text. But it is there. Tvam-pada analysis is there. And they spent some more time talking about Tat-pada later. Unless I understand the Tvam-pada and understand it correctly, there is no possibility of equating it to anything. Otherwise, I will simply, Tvam-pada is simple. I am a limited being. I am 5 foot 9 inches, subject to decay, subject to pain and pleasure. That is all I know. So he asks you to redefine I in one's own mind. So in this text or in this part of the text, I don't even know if it's part of the text or a separate text, probably a separate text. You can see the style is so different from what we read in the first 31 verses. That jiva, which I'm defining as tvam, can be swapna kalpita jiva, can be in chidabhasa, can be avachinna jiva. And on the tat portion, there are enough texts to tell us that sarvam idam tat. Everything here inclusive is tat. You take each one of these jivas that he has defined, can we, by some vichara and by some understanding, see that as being infinite? If it is swapna kalpita jiva, it is not even Ishvara kalpita. It is pratibhasikam. The individual who is trying to understand has created the jiva. There is no way under the sun that the jiva can be infinite. This jiva, already there is a limited jiva. Limited because it is only a reflection. Pratibhasikam. It is a pratibimba. And without the bimba, there is no pratibimba. And pratibimba does not exist without some medium which will distort that bimba to create various images. That pratibimba jiva is imagining another jiva. Already this is small. Even that has imagining something has got to be even smaller. Even within that, there is no possibility of equating that jiva to tat, which we have been defined as everything. There's nothing I can come up with which is not included. So we can eliminate that jiva of the three options that we have for jiva as being the LHS of the equation. All right. What about the pratibhasika jiva? The pratibhasika jiva is illusory because it's only reflection. It's like saying my shadow is I. Your shadow can't be I. It's dependent on so many things. There is an I separate, and there is a whole lot of images that is separate. So even that cannot be seen as tat. Cannot be seen as there's no possibility at all as being seen as everything. So it's neither the swapna kalpita jiva nor the vyavaharika jiva, which he calls chidabhasa. That leaves us with one possibility of Tvampada. Avachinna Jiva. If it is Avachinna, Avachinna here means, like I said, Parichinna Jiva. To us, everything within the time-space continuum has to be limited. Simply because time-space, you've already drawn a boundary. So to us, anything has to be limited as long as we imagine it within time-space. And anything limited, we cannot by any stretch of imagination equate it to Tat. So it is not Swapna Kalpita, it is not Chirabhasa. If it is not this also, then where's the equation? So one has got to look at this a little more closely and say, what is it that can make this possibly the same as the Tattva? Other two we've eliminated. Na itara jivayoho. Those two we have said is not possible to be considered as the Tvampada in the equation. All that is left is the Avachinna Jiva. Is the Avachinnam real? Is that limitation that is imposed on this, is that real? One can examine that. If that is not real, then we have a situation in which we have a jiva which may actually be unlimited, infinite, but which we somehow assume has limitation by superimposing something else on it. Is that a possibility? Therefore, we do a lot of vichara. What is it that is superimposing? What is the avachinnakaha? Avachinnakaha, he says, are the three sharira. Karya sharira, karana sharira, and karana sharira. Sthula sukshma karana sharira. So we need to examine that. What is the reality of these sharira? Are they something which we can call sat? And some vichara, we've done enough vichara so far, but we can also continue to do the same vichara. Those cannot be sat. Many ways we can examine that. One of the simplest ways to examine that is, if it is sat, then time should have no effect on it. It has to be trikalatitaha. But all these are subject to time. Therefore, the avachinna itself comes under question. And if that is that what covers, what does imposes the limitation is itself something which can be examined and seen if it is real. If it was real, then you have another issue. The limitation being imposed by something is real, therefore the limitation is real, therefore what is being covered is also limited. Like saying that which can satisfy your hunger is food, and food and hunger belong to the same order of reality, and therefore food can satisfy your hunger as long as that food belongs to the same order of reality. When I'm hungry in the waking state, I need that food in the waking state. But here, he says, avacchinnasya jivasya, in the previous verse he said, avacchedaha kalpitaha. That which imposes the limitation does not belong to the same order of reality. It is kalpitaha, it is mithya. And if that is mithya, then the limitation is also mithya, non-real. On what? On Sakshi Chaitanyam. Sakshi Chaitanyam, which we said is Dṛg-dṛśya natu drishyate, never changes, which is Purnaha, which is infinite. On that, you appear to impose certain limitation. Appear to, because what imposes the limitation is mithya. With that kind of analysis, and seeing that the Sharira, Sthula Sukshma Karana Sharira, are all mithya, are all vyavaharika. That vyavaharika pratibhimba, that jiva, when he recognizes the situation as being vyavaharika, not paramarthika, there is a possibility that person might start examining, doing more vichara, and arriving at what is paramarthika. That is the samsari. That limited being, it recognizes this is my limitation, because the my, whose? Mistaken from pada. Limitation belongs to the vyavaharik. Therefore, he says that avachinna jiva, which is as though limited by as though limiting factors, the Sthula Sukshma Karana Sharira, they don't limit Sakshi Chaitanyam. Nothing can limit Sakshi Chaitanyam because there is nothing else. Everything else is only Pratibhasikam or Vyavaharikam. In fact, Vyavaharikam, Pratibhasikam is part of Vyavaharikam. Like nothing in my waking hours can be affected by whatever happens in the dream. King Janaka's question, which is real, which is Pratibhasikam, which is Paramarthikam? Am I the beggar who dreamt that I am King Janaka? Or am I King Janaka who dreamt that I am a beggar? An examination of the reality. Most people will remain within the Vyavaharika. And they will justify it. They'll say, I know what I'm talking about. I'm a limited person. How can you say Tattvamasi? Even people who take Shastra as a pramana, once they are convinced that I am limited, they will find all the arguments in the world to show I am limited. Tattvamasi, ātmatattva. Hey, if it is ātmatattva, why do we need these volumes of Shastra? Why do you have any faith in Shastra? I don't need that. I know it. Everybody knows. But that is where we are. So this possibility of the avachinna jiva, as though avachinna jiva. So do we have a separate avachinna jiva and a Brahman separately? Therefore, it is not even correct to say the avachinna jiva has to become Brahman. Nothing to become. The samsari jiva has first to recognize that the limitation is not real. Having sensed that, the samsari then has to say, how can I understand that infinite I and get rid of this notion in my head that I am the limited being. I am subject to grief. I am subject to all kinds of things within this jagat. Only through vichara, with the help of a guru, of the vakya of the Shastra. And it is absolutely logical. There is no step which is not logical. No step which can be contradicted. Then he's got to understand that this limitation that I'm imposing on I is not real. And yet that strong preconceived notion of a limited I does not go away. He has sat in the Shravanam class for many hours. He's done extensive mananam, but that does not go away. I am this limited being, subject to grief, subject to the highs and lows, is so strongly established. Not only strongly established, is constantly getting reinforced. Everybody around you, starting from childhood, when in desperation, in frustration, the mother says, "You're a useless fellow." Through to all your friends, it doesn't go away. Therefore, Shastra recommends that not only Shravanam Mananam, but you should also be engaged in Nididhyasanam, or in the words of the previous sections, Dhyanam, Samadhi. to try and remove the strongly established notion of the self. So the possibility is that avachinna jiva is not really avachinna. It is actually Purnam Brahman, as though limited. He says, avachinnasya jivasya purnena brahmana aikatam. Brahmana aikatam. This avachinna jiva that he's been talking about, he's been calling parimarthika, is the same as that infinite Purna Brahman. Therefore, Tat is same as Tvam. Tattvam asyadi vakyani. Tattvam asi adi vakyani. But the one we take for analysis is Tattvam asi. By first trying to understand Tat, understand Tvam, and bring it down to saying, oh, therefore they're equal. QED. That's why it is logical. To understand E is equal to MC squared, a lot of preparation required. I don't even know integral calculus. How am I going to understand E is equal to MC squared? How am I ever going to understand Tattvamasi and establish it so that I assimilate that knowledge? Unless my preparation is complete. I am prepared mentally. I live a life which prepares me to have a calm, receptive mind, not clouded by all kinds of preconceived conclusions and inferences. Bhagavad Gita has a simple solution. Take charge of your raga dvesha. Nothing else needs to be done. And having done that, do Shravanam and Mananam. Then we understand, it's been declared, it's been said by people, Tattvamasyadi Vakyani Jaguhu. What has been declared? What is Jaguhu? Jaguhu is lit. Very lit. The word is actually Gaihi, the root. Gai becomes Jaguhu in Bahuvachanam, lit Kartari. What has been declared? The aikyam between avacchinnasya jiva, avachinna jiva, and Purna Brahman. Purna Brahman is Tat. The apparently avachinna jiva is Tvam. You have a simple equation. By understanding that the avachinna is mithya. That is why it said, if you understand mithya, which cannot exist without the satyam, Rajju Sarpavat, we can understand satyam. But as long as the mithya has all its covering on you, satyam will not be seen. And what covers this? The famous Shakti called Maya. That Maya Shakti is also as though Shakti only. But enough to cover that knowledge of the Satyam. It has two fantastic powers. Avarana Shakti and Vikshepa Shakti. The root cause of all our problems, our ajnanam, Maya, this Avarana Shakti is so ubiquitous, so well spread in our own lives to cover something and expose something else. There are a lot of computer people here, they will tell you 1010100011, you cover something, you let something go. All these gates that they have, you let something go and cover something else. In life also, we have this avarana and the misdirected vikshepa, which really gives us samsaritvam, which makes us be judgmental. It's very common in life. And it all starts with Maya. Maya itself exists because you can see the karya of Maya, but doesn't exist. Everything starts from there. It is and it is not. If you say it is, then you have a problem because all the time we've been studying, there is nothing other than Brahman. Therefore, Maya, second thing. How can you say it exists? And in the same breath say, Ekameva Advitiya Brahman. Oh, you're right. Therefore, Maya doesn't exist. If Maya doesn't exist, how is all the karya of Maya we are seeing every day? The whole Jagat. So Maya can neither be accepted as real because there can't be a second, nor can Maya be dismissed as being non-existent because all the Maya karyam is available to us. Every time we see an effect somewhere, we have to say that there has to be a cause. And we see the entire Jagat, we say there must be a cause, and that cause is called Maya. So Maya is the beginning of Vidya. It is and it is not. Maya is what starts the confusion. Maya is like magic. It seems to create an illusory world which has no existence of its own. That one Brahman, Maya from that seems to create the entire Jagat, including Ishvara, all of which fall into the same definition of Maya, Vidya. Sat asadbhyam anirvachaniyam. Maya If it doesn't exist, we can't explain the word. And the Maya is there as a separate entity, then the entire Vedanta is falsified. This is why you get so many different philosophies. Somehow try to explain this. Both philosophies which accept Shastra and philosophies which don't accept Shastra. If just one idea of Maya can be understood, then it is possible to perceive Vidya, understand Vidya as non-self-existent. There is only one vastu which is self-existent, which does not require another pramana to reveal it, another light to show its existence. It's the only Dṛk, that which sees everything else as Dṛshya. If we can understand Maya thoroughly, then you have Maya under your control. If you don't understand Maya, then Maya has you under its control. Very simple. You see, you take the child to a magic show, and the magician performs some incredible magic. Incredible and impossible looking because your senses cannot explain it. Your mind cannot analyze it. And the best you can say is, this is magic. Which is what we do with the world. ये सब भगवान की माया है. Because we don't understand Maya. So we take refuge in that one statement somebody made, ये भगवान की माया है, we accept. God works in mysterious ways. We cannot understand how he works. But if we understand the magician's magic, if he performs a simple magic, in which, going back to the same example we've been talking about, he's able to put a solid coin through a solid glass bottle inside, through the side walls. To our senses, it is impossible. But there's obviously a little magic involved there. If you try to take a coin and tap and try to put it in the glass bottle, you'll only break the bottle. So he's doing something you don't know. Suppose a person gets obsessed. I have to find out this. How did he do this? It is not possible. There's a solid glass bottle he showed us. He poured water in it. Water stayed in this. He tapped on the glass was solid. How did he put the coin inside? Sometimes they can make an obsession. So you go to the magician and say, listen, you have to tell me how you did this. I have to understand this magic. Magician says, it is not easy for you to understand. So he begs him, I will do anything. I want to know. I can't sleep nights because I'm all the time thinking, how did he do this? I have to know. Please teach me. Shishyasteham Shradimam Tam Prapannam. I will join as your assistant. So after the magician has determined that he is really, really committed to knowing, is willing to do anything to know this magic, one day he teaches him. After he has been an assistant for several months. And when he teaches him, he says, oh God, it's so simple. I wish I had seen this earlier. Now he has control over that magic, at least in that, within that universe. He has control over that magic. So what's the difference between him and the magician as far as that universe is concerned? Nothing. Ananya bhava. He is the magician. If you don't understand Maya for what it is as mithya, Maya will always have its sway on you. Like this fellow who became obsessed with knowing that, then you go searching all over the place. Sometimes to the wrong place. And when he does teach him and he understands, then he's the magician. That's why it said, Mayam tu prakritim vidyat. May you know Maya to be capable of creating this apparent jagat. Prakritim vidyat. Prakrishena karya samarthyam. Mayinam to Maheshwaram. And the one who wields the Maya is Maheshwara. Now, when you understand Maya, when you understand the nature of Maya, you are the Mayan. You are Parameshwara. So when in every Upanishad, whether it's Nachiketa, Ashvetaketu, gets obsessed by this need to know, becomes a jignasu, and goes to a guru. Others might have gone to some other gurus, may not have understood it, or they may not have been ready in terms of their preparation. When they're fully prepared, they go to the right guru. Tadvijnanartham gurumeva abhigachet. And the guru, after determining that the Shishya is ready, reveals the truth. And the Shishya, being ready, understands the truth and assimilates it, becomes aparoksha jnanam. That aparoksha jnanam is only knowing what is Maya. And therefore have total control over Maya. The only difference between within the Vyavaharika Jagat, the Jiva and Ishvara is the Jiva is controlled by Maya, Ishvara controls Maya. The magician knows the magic, the audience are swayed by the magic. And when you understand that magic, You are the mind. I told you the highest form of prayer, Ananya Bhakti. Hey Bhagwan, Shastra says you and I are non-separate. Purna Brahmena Aikyam. Purna Brahmana Aikyam. But I don't understand. Please explain to me. And then Bhagavan, in the form of a guru, tells him what Maya is. Once he has that knowledge, has control of Maya, he is the mind. One who has the Brahma Jnanam is Brahman. He is the one who wields Maya. Because he understands that the Shakti of Maya, Shakti Dvayam, Avarana Vikshepa Shakti, is what is running rings around him. Apparent rings around him. Fantastic. One word, Iva, in the Shastra. All Mithya. Once he understands that, he becomes Maheshwara. Not becomes. Sorry. He is Maheshwara. He was always Maheshwara. We never separate from Maheshwara. He just didn't understand, that's all. So he introduces Maya in the next verse, saying, listen, I have this whole Jagat in front of me. I am there, and everything else is a non-I. The Jagat, including all that I can see and not see in this world, all that I know and don't know in this solar system, all that I know and don't know about the entire cosmos, of which I am a tiny little insignificant, invisible speck. How did they get created? By Maya. He says, can we read the next verse, please? So he introduces Maya at some point of time. We have to introduce Maya. Without Maya, there is no understanding. Brahmanyavastatha Maya.
Brahmanyavastitha Maya.
Vikshepa vritti rupini.
Vikshepa vritti rupini.
Avritya khandatam tasmin.
Avritya khandatam tasmin.
Jagat jivau prakalpayet.
Jagat jivau prakalpayet.
That Maya, Brahmani Avastitha Maya, it is not a separate entity. Avastitha, it is Brahman. Is it a property of Brahman? No. Brahman has no properties. So what is it? It is Mithya. We start with Maya. Brahmani Avastitha Maya. Is it part of Brahman? No, Brahman has no parts. Is it a separate entity? No, there is no separate entity. You're confusing me so much. You keep saying Maya, Maya, and then say Maya is not part of Brahman, Maya is not of Brahman, Maya is not in Brahman. Maya is Brahman. And from Maya downwards, everything is Brahman only. Because Maya is Mithya, the first of the Mithya. As though in Brahman. With this Shakti Dvayam, Maya Vikshepa Avrita Rupini. Its Swarupa is these two. Cover the truth, and having covered the truth, show something else. Swami used to give an example which I've used earlier also. When the lady of the house has a guest coming, and she finds that in the drawing room there are a lot of stuff lying around, and she has no time to clear them. So nicely stack them up in one corner of the drawing room, bring a nice sheet, cover it. And then put some nice knickknacks on top of that. One flower vase, one little picture frame. Avarana Vikshepa. She's nicely covered what was junk with a nice sheet, and put some nice things on top of that and say this is decoration. So Avarana and Vikshepa happens everywhere. We will see more of this in the next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.